We know we have a lot of work to do, and we're excited now, but we have to win, right? And we want to build the right staff. We want to get the right players so we can go out and win and compete. That's when the excitement continues, and that's what we want to bring here.
Everything I ever wanted, I just push up on it and she knows the play. Name leave stains on the brain when I bless the game. She ain't knowing what to say. Ain't nothing in between God and kings. That's a direct link like the Pharisees.
What up, Houston? Bayou City Boys. We're here to talk about our new head coach, DeMeco Ryans.
What?
I know what you're thinking. We're usually always doing our weekly ones, but this is just straight Texans, straight DeMeco Ryans for you guys.
Because we're so excited.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I was more excited than I thought I was gonna be. I don't know why.
I know you were kind of. I don't really know if I want him right away, and then it kind of grew on you.
I think he won the press conference. He got me. He tricked me. Or he just.
I was gonna say.
He had me wanting to play football right after that.
You said the other day that the press conference had you super hyped, so I figured that's what it was.
It did.
I mean, he said everything right.
Now I'm a little. I mean, if you really think about what he's gonna do, it makes you nervous though, because you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. Like, shit! The stress has come back.
The thing is, though, he did what the franchise could have hoped for. He's already selling. There's people buying season tickets again now. There's people hype. I think one of y'all said it. They should put some DeMeco Ryan jerseys back out there. People are gonna start buying them again
for sure.
It's like we have a face of the franchise for now. It's one of those things you got in the good graces again with the media, the national media. Everybody was praising you. Everybody said you finally got it right. Everybody forgive and forget, like we said was going to happen if you got the right choice. And it seems like Cal and Nick are both like, hey, this is something we're going to build long term now. You got 6 years. If anybody thinks that they're gonna do a one and done with him, you're dumb. Like they're not. They can't afford that. They can't afford that.
You're dumb.
Yeah, no.
They might two and done, but not one and done.
Yeah, not no. Yeah,
but it also has a lot to do with expectation. If you really think about it, because like we're not San Francisco, we can't be that. So don't think about that. Yeah. But I think it's within the realm of possibility. Like maybe we could be the Jets. What they did last year.
Yeah.
It's the same defensive system. It's essentially the same thing. They don't have a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. Your defense is probably going to be better because of your head coach, and you'll win games if you run the ball.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We don't have a quarterback right now. Depending on the way the draft goes, we could end up maybe being better than the Jets.
See, that's the thing that confused me at the interview because, like, when he was talking about the quarterback, right? I got the impression that what he meant, like, we have one on our roster and we need to get more. It's like, of course we're going to replace Davis Mills, but he made me feel as though he feels like we don't need to, like, get a Pat Mahomes. Like, I felt like what he was trying to say is like, well, we're going to try to do, we just need a pro quarterback. So that makes me nervous on a bridge.
That makes me nervous because of what I saw right after they announced that he was the head coach was Trey Lance getting on Instagram and putting up like praying hands emojis and everything. And I don't want Trey Lance trying to manifest his way to Houston.
I was gonna say that.
I'm sorry, man. I had to bring it up just because it was.
I know. I'm not blaming you. It's because it's a possibility, and I don't fucking want it.
I know. And it's really funny because you and I were talking to, your 49ers man about Trey Lance and everything the other day at the gym. And you were talking about how people were saying that there was a possibility he could come here. Yeah. And right after that happened, they announced DeMeco was there and Trey Lance is over there like, hey, what's up?
But also people were saying that he meant by that's what I felt. But then people were saying like he meant that he wants to go get Bryce Young. And I was like, well, that's not what the fuck I got out of that. But I want to go get Bryce Young. So if he's willing to spend some shit for it, then I'm down for that too.
Would you be upset if they got Bryce Young and then they got a veteran quarterback? Like
yes.
you got Trey
Yes.
Lance behind him.
Yes.
I feel the same. I feel like you don't want to put pressure on.
If I draft Bryce Young, my next quarterback is I'm bringing back Driscoll. I'm not doing to Bryce Young what you did to Deshaun Watson. It's like you sat him behind Tom Savage for no reason. You wasted most of a year. No, Bryce is coming in. He's the guy. Nobody else has a fucking shot to take a snap for us unless he gets hurt.
I was going to say the only way that I would be okay with them bringing in, like a veteran quarterback would be for, like mentor type things. He doesn't start. He's just there to, help him with.
It depends on guidance. Who the mentor is. The only person in the world that I want to do that is Case Keenum. That's the only person I'll accept that from. Other than that, I ain't trying to hear it. I want Driscoll.
Yeah, because if you get a little bit of I mean, you see.
What about Tom Brady?
I'm not saying Bryce Young is going to be Trevor Lawrence, but they didn't do it with Trevor Lawrence. You don't want to put that extra pressure on a young QB trying to figure out the system. I mean, Jalen Hurts, the list goes on with them. I agree with that. He did give a lot of praise to the defensive players that we've already been praising, Petrie, Stingley, and it kind of was funny because people that know football were like, give Stingley his fair share, and he kind of like you said it last time in one of our videos. Hey, I know you didn't like the other guy.
It was like a public plea to those players, like. It's different now. You know what I'm saying? Like don't hate us for what Lovey did. Like it's different now. It was a public plea for Petrie and Derek and Christian Harris. He was like, okay, let's play football. Y'all bitch about him. Now you're gonna do what I ask.
Yeah.
I think they show up. I think we have a good ass defense this year. Our defense, there's no way we could get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the defense getting any worse. It's only up from here, it's like you always talk about with our defense. I don't see any bad things coming unless, there's an injury.
I think that his favorite player right now might be Petrie, though. He's like, this dude had 5 picks and I wasn't even here. And I was like, whoa, he said that out loud. Like, I'm going to make this dude even better. I was like, I like that. A little cockiness right there.
I mean,
you said it, man. Like, when he did that press conference, you immediately hit us up and said, he just won me over on that. I'm completely okay with it now.
I'm fine with it. Now, that's not to say that he doesn't make me nervous. Like, I still think you should hire a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Preferably somebody who's older with experience.
I think it's okay to be nervous, too, though, because, seeing all the stuff that's gone on with the Texans as much as we have over the years, I think being nervous is actually the smartest move. You don't want to be
I'm not nervous
too stoked
for
about
one
it.
reason, because Nick Caserio didn't look like he was on meth. He looked like he was on coke. And that means he's less stressed out. So I'm fucking good with that. No, for real, because I felt like Caserio, the way that he was like playing with his belt and he was sitting back, and I think he might have grabbed his junk a time or two. And I was like, oh, this motherfucker think he cool right now, right? But I figured it out. It's like he's like, okay, I don't have to do this by myself no more. I have DeMeco, I have a partner now. I'm Clay and he's Steph. So and I feel like he was comfortable for the first time ever. We're good, bro. I think we're in the right direction.
I mean, DeMeco talked about it, how analytics plays a part, but also, the eye test, all the different things he's learned of being a player and a coach. And you kind of saw Nick say that with Lovey. It wasn't that he didn't like him. It's just they didn't agree on a lot of stuff. And it's like we say, times change, coaches change, analytics. You see it in all the sports, basketball and baseball. Analytics versus the eye test, the heart, and all that.
I was gonna say analytics can only show you so much at the end of the day, because they change so often because players either play better, against something, or they say fuck it and just start playing better in general because they're getting tired of losing or looking shitty, Like I've noticed that over the years,
But that's what he said. Like he was like, we want to have a diverse coaching staff, and I don't mean diverse by black. Like we want young, we want old, we want people who could teach this way because these guys respond to it that way. Yet I have these guys who need to be told this way. So you have like multiple outlets of information getting to them in different ways. And he's like, we're gonna give the players the best chance to succeed. And I was like, all right, cool. We're not fighting ourselves no more.
I mean, we always talk about it, player development, and we didn't see a lot of them play last year. I feel like Texans fans need to be humble a bit on the player development of the picks last year because some of them did really good, but imagine if you had a guy that could develop them even better. What could Petrie have done even better? What could Stingley done even better? I mean, even Green, he's going to get Michi for probably a whole season next year, plus whoever we draft, whatever. And the other thing is you see the old school people coming in, Andre Johnson, all these people praising him. You finally got the old school people back in your good graces. And you had a lot of players there that are still on the team that were happy. They were excited for the first time. Not when Lovey got hired, you didn't see a bunch of people press con. Yeah, let's go. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we know this guy. Like, it feels different. It feels, and so you got to think free agency, like we've talked about. How does that play with free agents coming in?
I think my philosophy is, well, obviously it makes it better, but I think our philosophy is the right but different. Like in this instance, you might have to pay for offense and draft defense, not pay for defense. You know what I'm saying? Do the same, because I think that if you give DeMeco the opportunity to pick his players out of the draft that he thinks he can do shit with, that's our best course of action.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing that I heard. I don't know how truthful it was or not, but I did hear some shit about JJ Watt saying he was going to play one game with the Texans so he could be coached under DeMeco.
I'm fine with that. They can have a little bit of fun with it.
And if that were to happen, do you think if the team, looked pretty decent, do you think JJ would continue to try and play for a little bit, or do you think he would just
that would make me so excited, but I don't know if that would happen. But it also depends on like what happens going into the season. Like if you don't get something you want, and it could be like, all right, you could come be a rotational piece. But
yeah, because like I heard it and I was like thinking about, well, I mean, if he's gonna retire, he's obviously gonna retire at Texans, so he's got to sign the one day contract to retire that way. So if he does it just to play one game, if it goes good and he's like, hey, this is tight playing under DeMeco, do you think he could try and continue to play the whole season? Or
I think if you do some bullshit like that, you do it once you figure out our season is done. And I only feel that way because you're it's disrespectful to them young boys that are trying to do something, like earn that spot. Mm-hmm. So it's like, nah, we're not gonna sit here. But like if we're fucking like 3-14 in week fucking 18, it's like, hey, you want to play one game and retire a Texan? I would do that.
Yeah,
I like what Andre said. They asked Andre, "You going to be a coach?" And then he was like, "I don't know about all that, but I'm gonna still be here." And I was like, "That's the most important thing is he's there." It's like, who the fuck wants Andre Johnson as a coach anyway? He don't say nothing. What do you have to do? Stare at each other and point?
I think that's the biggest thing is people think just because you are really good at the sport, you can be a coach. And it's two different things. Like JJ said it to people. He was like that's a totally different job.
Yeah.
Be up and do a bunch of shit.
So my dad actually asked me about, what was going on with the head coach and everything. And I told him about the dumb shit about people saying that, Johnson, Watt, and Cushing should come and be quarterback should come and be coaches, And he said, that doesn't even make sense. He's like, I don't even know sports like that. And I know it's completely different. Being a player is completely different from being a coach.
Yeah.
He's like, what if they get there, they do some shit like that, and then they're not good? I was like, exactly. Then you got all these people who wanted it so bad, looking stupid, and then just complaining even more.
Just be the mentors. Let Cal spend his money. He wanted to sit there cool the other day with his pinky ring on and his Texans cowboy boots. Just keep writing the checks, and we got it.
Yeah.
We don't need them fools.
No, I think you look at it too, like, look at what the Jeff Saturday stuff did with the Colts. Like,
oh, I hope they hire him. Oh, I hope they hire him.
They said that there's like, I mean, and of course, coaches and players know the difference of it in every sport, and you always get these people like, oh man, I want that guy, but I mean, it's just it's different. Like JJ said, you have to stay up, you have to be committed to be away from your family for these guys to develop them, coach them every game, get them ready, whatever else off the field stuff they're dealing with, you have to be there for them and all that. And so if he was leaving to be with his family, I highly doubt he wants to be a coach now and take even more time. Yes, physical, it's not a lot, but mentally it's going to be draining on him. And it's one of those things. I mean, if he wants to be a coach, start him off on the lower totem, and I'm cool with that. If he wants to be a mentor, I mean, we see it all the time with Astros, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio. You see Akeem Olajuwon.
That's what I'm saying. Just come hang out. Just come hang out. If you see something, say something.
Yeah. I mean, he still lives in Houston, so 1000% it would be great for him. He retired and he just gets to come and chill at his old fucking stomping ground and make everybody feel good about what's going on. That would be the best thing for him. He gets to not be there when he doesn't want to be. He gets to hang out with his family and do everything. It would be perfect. It's the perfect case scenario for him.
Yeah, I would lose a lot of confidence if he was one of our coaches. Not that he's an idiot. It's like, oh, y'all not even trying. Y'all trying to bring the old band back together. Yeah. I heard somebody mention Matt Schaub as a quarterback coach. I'm like, I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I spend the number 2 pick on a quarterback and that motherfucker gonna teach me something. It's not happening.
Are y'all okay with DeMeco if he does decide to be his own defensive coordinator?
I'll give you the opportunity as long as you don't fall into the Nathaniel Hackett deal where you forget you're a head coach too. Like if you neglect your obligations and your responsibilities, then you have to get a B coordinator. But I think that even if you opt to call plays, it's still in your best interest to bring somebody in because it's not your money. Like spend it.
And Cal seems like he opened up the whole bank for him. So I guess offensive coordinator, where are y'all looking at them to go with that for? Because he has a say so, of course. Nick, it seems like they're both kind of agreeing on a few options. Now
I think that Steve Blowick dude from the Niners is going to be our offensive. It just makes too much sense. It really does because it's like you didn't. That's the one thing that Saleh didn't do is you didn't bring the offense with you too. From my understanding, DeMeco has a way better understanding of offensive football than Saleh did anyway. I think it's going to be that guy because we talk about it. It's like you bring in people who'll do it for you. And I think the stars are aligning for that guy. It's about his time to step up. It just kind of sucks because if he does really good, we're going to lose him at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
that's why I want the Case Keenums of the world out there because, like, if this dude is a nerd and he's really smart, and then Case is a nerd and he's really smart, then you teach this nerd and he's going to teach the quarterback, and then it's like a trickle-down effect. And we have to get better that way, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That's there's no way that you can't get better in that scenario, I think.
I'm still a little bit hopeful for Cliff Kingsbury, to be honest with you.
And if we get that, I'd be hyped.
Yeah.
Would you be happy? Would you be happy if the first thing DeMeco Ryans does is just get rid of Christian Kirksey?
100%.
He didn't even name him.
Yeah.
He didn't even name him. I was like, yeah, he's good.
If I've said that I wanted somebody off the team, I don't care who you're thinking about. Yes, get rid of him.
I know. I just wanted to say it because I know that's.
I just want to know who has authority over that second pick. Like, you think they negotiated?
If DeMeco Ryans has
it, he kind of hinted like whenever he was with the 49ers, saying, "Of course, I want all the defensive players."
You're talking about the Elijah Mitchell story?
Yeah, but he's like, I saw Elijah Mitchell's tape, and I knew that would help. So it kind of feels like they're gonna be doing this. Hey, look, we need a quarterback that's offense, and then give me defense, and then like.
I think, but what if it's something like, okay, you pick a guy, you pick the quarterback you want, and if he's there at 2, you can have him. But if not, then the pick is mine.
I mean, and I think, yeah.
Would that be a dick move from DeMeco?
Would you be okay with that?
It would.
Would you be okay with it?
It depends on who he picks.
I know.
Because like I was
saying, like
I couldn't tell you if I'm okay with it because it depends on what he does with it.
What if he doesn't want Bryce Young and he wants someone else that's not there at the second pick?
But that's my next point is like, if you think about like who he might be in, the best quarterback for the system might not be Bryce.
Yeah.
Because he didn't run a pro system, but Levis did.
I was going to say, what if he wants...
There's some guys who could come over thinking like, we want Will Levis.
And I was going to say, what if he wants Will Levis or something?
I don't want...
If he wants Will Levis and... he like gets taken and Bryce is still on the board and they take some defensive player. I know you're
not gonna be mad. I'm gonna be fucking mad. But I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, you know?
Yeah. Because they won't hire you.
That and it's like I fail to believe that Bryce is not gonna do good.
Yeah, every mock draft has us pretty much at Bryce. Like it just feels like that's where we're locked in, and all the other teams are fighting over Levis and CJ. Even with the height and all that, we've said it before. You need another face, and no disrespect to Levis or CJ. I mean, even if they play good, yeah, but a first face of the draft is going to be Bryce. If you get him there, you get the Alabama ties. You get a guy that has proven it in Pro Bowl. He's a Heisman winner. Like, you start to get that buzz, and then you get weapons. It just whatever else you get. I just feel like if the route you said, if you don't get him, say somebody jumps you and you don't get him, and DeMeco's like, hey, we didn't.
I want Jalen Carter because my defense is predicated on interior pressure. I'd be like, yeah. I get it. I can't be mad at that. But you're like, if you do that shit and take Will Anderson, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. Not to say Will Anderson's bad, but we could do more with that. But also, DeMeco said it. He's like, I make players that everybody else gave up on good. He's like, the league gave up on Fred Warner. They gave up. Hufanga was a 5th-round pick. So it's like we can get players later.
And, I mean, you think about it. Nick, we've always praised him on, you said it, he gets those players that we get the last piece of the toothpaste out of the tube with them.
We squeeze the shit out of them.
Lets these guys do really good. So now you have a 1-2 combo with, hey, let's get this guy in, get what you can out of him, all right, and you rejuvenate him. I mean, we've seen a few people last year do that with us, and it's kind of exciting for sure.
I would not be surprised if we go offense in the first round. I really wouldn't. Because, like, I think DeMeco's confident enough in himself and the system that he's like, I could take these 2nd-rounders and these 3rd, 4th, and 5th-rounders and make starters out of them. So I think that we would go quarterback, receiver, or quarterback, O-line.
I was going to ask you, which would you want with that 2nd pick, though? Like, personally.
Receiver.
That's what I was going to say that I would want.
I want a receiver, be honest.
I want Nietzsche back, but I want somebody that could be like a star by the end of the season or the beginning of next.
At this point, I'm not even looking for a star. I'm looking for productive because we fucking suck, bro.
Hey, give
me 70 fucking catches and I'll be happy because didn't happen last year. I don't need Justin Jefferson.
I know, but I mean, production usually does lead to stardom, you know, like.
Yeah, but when you've been disappointed as much as we have lately, I can't be picky. Like, I can't ask for 1,600 yards when I can't get fucking.
I just want catches out of here. Run their routes.
That's why I want Jordan Addison. He's my wide receiver number 1. If he's there at 12, I want him. If they went, I mean, we all say that there's going to be a ton of trades this one. You know, we'll be doing some more mocks on them for sure with trades. But if they went Bryce and then say they went O-line like Skaransky and then they jump back in. Like I can't do that because I think that you're primed so good from your first 3 picks that you play that out. Then from that point on, I'm okay with you spending a bunch of shit to get into the. I told you and James, from pick number 20 to about halfway through the 3rd round, you'll get a shit ton of good players. So you spend those 4th, 3rd, 4th, and 5th picks to get closer to that shit, and then that's what I would do. They said they're looking at doing what the Jets did, and that's what the Jets did. They had players they wanted. They went and pushed up. I mean, you're losing picks, but if you're getting players you want and that you think are going to bring talent, I'm not mad at it. I just feel, I mean, you see a difference from last year to this year. It seemed like you said Nick ran everything last year and was kind of like, this is all on me. And this year he has some help where it's like, all right, 2 of us can really get down gritty and start looking at these players that we want. What makes it really easy to know, like, what DeMeco wants too, because you know what he's going to do. Yep. So he could look at film and be like, okay, I want this guy. And then they'll project, 3rd round? Yeah, we'll get him. We got him. We got you. Yeah. And if the way it maneuvers around, if you don't. Now, to your point, I would be kind of mad if you draft that tackle second, though, a little bit. Well, because I feel like you could get it at 33.
Well, you
could probably get Anton Harrison at 33. Well, I mean,
you heard it there, folks. If there's a hole in Zach's wall, it's because he got the wrong player. He punched it.
Yep. I mean, we put him top 10 in our draft. I feel you, but that was for that team's need. Not ours. Like, you put him top 10. This is number 12. But I'm
wins.
gonna tell you this: would
Right.
you rather have a really good receiver or a mid receiver or two starting O linemen? Like that's your choice.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, if you're not going to keep, there's a lot of, I mean, we've already said it. Free agency is going to tell us a lot. If somebody gets traded, like you don't plan on keeping Tunsil and Tyrus Howard, then maybe, I mean, there's a lot of questions still to be played out with free agency. I want.
All right, you said his name. We could get a tackle. Fuck Titus.
I want Jordan. I want a receiver because I want Cooks gone. I don't care what he'll take.
I was about to say, do you get stupid aggressive on draft day with like Brandon Cook and
Yes,
Christian Kirksey and like fucking Brevin Jordan and those fucking idiots?
yes.
I think if somebody
that's what I think too.
Yeah. Imagine
I think you do it
and then just keep moving forward. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think you do it to try and get as many as you can to after you said like the 20th to like the third round of picks, and you get rid of the loose ends that you don't want anymore.
I feel like you could get like a good interior D lineman, a corner, like you'll get 2 or 3 good players who will probably start in that little gap. So trade everything to get back into it. I'd rather leave with 5 players I'm gonna use than eight players, and I'm only gonna use like 4 maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would draft another running back too. Sure would. I'm not saying early. You could do it late, but
yeah. No, you need everybody that's like, oh, we have here. Watch the teams. They have 2 running backs usually that are very good. He needs help. You can't run him all the time. You don't want him and freaking Rex Burkhead, all right?
And the dude absolutely cannot catch a ball. So you need to change your pace back. You need somebody with speed, somebody who catch a ball, somebody who could protect the quarterback. Shit.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of questions to be answered, Houston fans.
I'm excited, bro. If there's one thing I know that fool looked excited and he wants to do it, it's something that he loves to do, and it don't seem like it's a fucking Lovie Smith just treated it as a job. Like it's not just a job to DeMeco.
Yeah. No, you can see the passion that he had. Yeah. He said it. I'm doing this for Houston. We want to do this for Houston. This is home to me. Like you can feel it. Like there's something about, like when people care about the city, and this is one of those things that rejuvenated this. As sadly as it's gonna hurt to say this, it literally moved them in a rejuvenation, trust feeling above the Rockets, only because of where the trajectory is going of this right here. Now, we'll get into that subject.
Well, I could tell you this, just to talk shit. I'm not real big on the nostalgia shit that they're talking about, but there's a linebacker coming out of Arkansas named Drew Sanders, and he's a white boy, and he's crazy. He's like Vander-ish, but he looks like he has all his chromosomes. I would love for them to bring him in and play with Christian Harris because they'll feel like old school DeMeco and Cushing.
Oh, man. All right. I'm cool with it, actually. So we're trading for DeAndre.
Sounds tight.
No. I'm surprised nobody started that up yet. And I know me putting.
If you just started that shit,
somebody's
gonna just started that shit.
Idea. We need to do it. Trade your first 3 for him, man.
Oof.
We need DeAndre back in Houston.
The only way I'd be willing to give y'all 3 fucking first round picks for D-Hop back is if you let me sign David Johnson and you take him back for a year and a half. Other than that, no deal. No dice.
Yeah,
we're going to have Christian Kirksey also.
I think we're going to cut that fool. There ain't no way DeMeco
He didn't even name him, so he's getting somewhere released or something.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Houston, you made it to this point. Make sure you like, subscribe to the network. Bayou City Boys will be doing a bunch of videos on your Rockets, Texans, Astros. I know me and Kayla will probably be doing some XFL stuff. That being said, man, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the SLG Network. I'll have a link down in the description below where you can get all breaking news on everything Rockets, Astros, and Texans. I got you covered. Much love, Houston.
Peace.